Oop asks AITA for never telling my mother what my aunt was doing to me. Content warning. Child abuse. Rape. Incest. Less than. Mood spoiler. Depressing but oop is hopeful by the end. Less than. Post 1. AITA for never telling my mother what my aunt was doing to me. May 29, 2023. I, 24 meters. Have had my life flipped around. My mom was 10 and her sister, my aunt, was 14 when they immigrated from Taiwan. My mom got into a lot of trouble and she and my dad were both 14 when she got pregnant. My grandparents didn't let her get an abortion. I was so close to my mom until I was like 8 and then she just started partying. Hanging out with friends. Arguing with my grandparents all the time. There were a few times when she just took me after an argument and kept me away for a month or had my dad keep me. It kind of continued like that until I was 13 and my grandparents died. My aunt's engagement collapsed and she moved in to help my mom. My aunt groomed me and it messed me up. My grades dropped. I started screaming at mom and blaming how she used to act for how I acted. I got into fights at school and I was so afraid of my aunt to the point where I'd start cuddling with my mom all night just to stay away from her. When I was 16, my aunt got pregnant and she moved away with a friend like a week later. She came over once after the baby, David, was born, and when my mom went out for a little bit she made me hold him and took a photo of us and said I should hold my son while I can. Then she moved with David to Taiwan and started living with a cousin. I have tried to forget everything she did to me. I graduated with honors and I got a wonderful job. I have tried to make my mom proud. I mean, I just got her a car. She calls my fiancé the daughter she never had. My fiancé is the only one I told this because I had to let her know. Apparently last Monday, my aunt drunkenly told the cousin everything she did to me and about me being David's father. She got kicked out right away and my mom was told everything by the cousin. My mom had a breakdown and she asked me if she was really so horrible that I couldn't tell her this happened to me. She yelled that she would have been able to help, but because I didn't know her grandson is stuck with a monster. She kicked me out, saying I never must have forgiven her for how she used to act. I've talked to my fiancé about it and she said my mom just needs time and can't fathom the idea that she has a grandson she can't help. I am so confused. Was I wrong to never tell her? Edit May 30th, 2023. I just want to say that I appreciate the support of everyone. I don't know what the future will bring, but thank you all for making me a little bit happy. Post 1 comments. OOP on being a victim here. I know that I'm the victim now. My fiancé has helped me understand that. With how people used to tease me for my aunt being how she was. I used to struggle with that. But even though my mom used to neglect me, then it's like she's most mad at me because she couldn't save me and wishes she could have. And now I'm afraid that she hates me. OOP on why he thinks he's the asshole here. But if I'd told my mom, then she could have saved me. That's what she thinks at least, and now she must think that I hate her or something terrible. So I really don't see how I'm not wrong, especially because my son, and it's weird to even think that I have one, is with the person who hurt me. Post 2 update. AITA for never telling my mom what my aunt was doing to me. July 7th, 2023. It has been a rough month and a bit since I last posted. The day after my post, my mom called me back home and said we needed to talk. And well, when I came back and sat down on the couch to talk, she just started crying, so I started crying. She calmed down first, but I kept crying, and it's embarrassing to write, but I fell asleep. My mom woke me up and we had a talk about things, and I have to thank you, Bet Savings 4279, for what they told me. I told my mom how, because of how provocative my aunt was and how other kids would tease me whenever they'd see her, I was so confused when things were happening and I was trying to push it all down. and away. She even brought up though how she should have known something was wrong because no kid at that age should cuddle with their mom all through the night, but she was too wrapped up in trying to have fun to notice. And then I don't know, I tried to tell her how much I've worked to make her proud, and she told me that she's always been proud, and I'm proof that she didn't end up being a waste of space like her parents always called her, and I'm her entire life. And then she admitted that she called my aunt the night before, and she told me that even though she wanted to be sly with things to find out about David, my aunt knew why she was calling. It turns out after my cousin kicked her out, my aunt moved into a hotel room because she couldn't afford an apartment. My mom offered to pay that apartment on the condition that she sends David to her, and my aunt agreed. My mom told me that she wishes she could send my aunt to jail so she could suffer, but she won't fail her grandson like she failed me, so she had to bring him. He came a week after, and my aunt did not come with. She sent him on the plane with a relative who didn't know what was up and left the day after to visit other people. He was really quiet and confused, and my mom took him around everywhere trying to get full custody of him right away. I don't know anything about this legal stuff or how he was even allowed to come with a guardian, but my mom has told me not to worry about it, and she's handling it. He did refer to my mom as his aunt when he came, but as soon as our relative left, she made him start calling her grandma, and as weird as it's been calling me dad, he seemed uncomfortable with it, but he's kind of gotten used to it. My mom has loved being a grandma, and David is already really attached to her. I know it's only been a little bit since he came, but it reminds me of myself at that age with how I used to cling to her. She's introduced him to all her close friends. Whenever they ask about his mom, she just says that she's in Taiwan and sent him over for a better life since I'm getting married. Yesterday my mom did talk to me and point out some strange stuff with David that she's noticed, and her belief that my aunt was starting to do to him what she'd done to me. I don't really know what to do with that info. My fiancé has told me I just need to keep handling it like I'm doing and stay confident. I'm doing my best, but with how things have been, I don't know if it's good enough. That said, I do feel like I'm mentally better knowing my fiancé is good with my mom taking in David, and my mom and I clearing things up about what my aunt did. Post 2 comments. OOP on being called dad here. My mom is going to seek custody of him and will be the one raising him. I'm not taking it. We had decided that was for the best because my mom doesn't want me thrust in that role without being ready for it. Yes, it's weird to have him calling me dad, but I can accept it because for better or worse it's who I am. And maybe in the future things can be different. OOP on David being a doover baby here. My mom is taking him to a children's therapist. At first it was to help him adjust from moving from Taiwan to here, but now she's got a referral to take him to a specialist as well. And maybe he is her doover baby. But I guess the way I see it is if she can raise him how I wish she'd have raised me, then I really was never what was wrong, but it was the situation, and I can be happy for her. OOP on. If a DNA test was done to verify David is his son here. Yes. OOP on legalities involving David here. We did get one. He is mine. My mom is handling the legal stuff, and as of this morning, she's assured me that she'll be able to be David's legal guardian soon, and my aunt will have no right to take him away. I really don't know the legal stuff or anything, and my mom knows it'll stress me. So she's keeping me dissociated from it all. And honestly, I know she should be in jail, but I don't think we can do anything to her with her in Taiwan. Welp, that's enough BORU for me today. Cat pics and brain bleach ahoy. I'm glad that the child is away from the predator aunt, mom. But God, so much has been done here without OOP's consent. Has his mother asked him about anything she's done, including bringing the kid over and instructing him to call Oop, Dad? I hope he can talk to a good therapist about this. His sense of autonomy and appropriate boundaries has been warped for a long time. My friend was telling me a while ago about how in college he got really high and drunk at a party, where he was in and out of consciousness. He remembers being cornered in a bathroom by a bunch of girls trying to give him BJS and he couldn't fight back to stop it because he was so gone. I was giving him my condolences that he got sawed. He gave me the most genuine thanks I've ever heard since. Every time he would tell this story to others, they would laugh as if it was a fun drunken story and I was the only one to take it seriously. I can see how Op wouldn't have wanted to tell his mom given how others think about male saw. My brother also groomed me. I just didn't tell anyone because I felt I would lose my entire family. I kept the secret until my father died. I told my other brothers. I still lost my family. They don't talk to me anymore as they chose to forgive him. It isn't on the victim to disclose. It doesn't always turn out well. Bro OP's take on the do-over baby thing might be the single most mature thing I have ever seen. Someone say, this man has been through 3 levels of hell and is barely starting to get his life to a comfortable place, and he has that much self-awareness and empathy. Fuck. This story is horrible, but what a goddamn impressive human being. Jesus Christ, calling Op and his mom grandma and dad isn't gonna help this kid acclimate. Man, that's so sad and horrible. Aunt belongs in jail at the very least. Kudos to Oop's fiancé for being so supportive through this. All. That can't be easy. I hate that some used do-over baby as an insult here. Mom, grandma is in the right mode. She was 14 and raised in the same family that created that fed-up sister, aunt. She has capability and tools now to do better. So why shouldn't she? Oh, leave the grandkid in such a precarious situation because God forbid she can raise him in better circumstances than her son? I think that's enough Reddit for today. The aunt is a disgusting human. Oop is incredibly mature and forgiving. I went through a similar, less severe situation. Didn't have a child out of incest and was not raped. But my mom left me at the hands of my abusers knowing that they were at the very least treating me badly. Out of the 5 years she let them take care of me, there were only 3 months where she had no control over whether they did or not. I think the fact that OOP's mom never knew helps. Because knowing my mom knew how much my family hated me simply for existing really wrecked my perspective on her once I was old enough to understand better, and it's a hatred and disgust that will never go away no matter what. I do think pushing all this family stuff with the kid in Oop is a bit much on his mother's part, but hopefully this is something he can handle well, judging from how he didn't say anything. Today was a bad day to be literate. What did I just read? Fuck. I always say, well, I'm done with Reddit today, and then end back up on this sub to read about degenerates like the ant here. Well, time to brain my bleach bleach my brain now. What a horrible time to be literate. Thank God for my cat cuddling me while I read this. Damn, Auntie is sick and perverted. She was starting to do that to her own son, too? Fuck me. OHY God, I could cry reading this and some of the responses from people relating. What a terrible, terrible person the aunt is. I hope she chokes. Jesus cocksucking Christ in hell. How many bottles of bleach do I need to pour over my eyes now? It's a terrible time to know how to read in English.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Errorcast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.